What up, folks? Labruski here today in a new off the cuff. Now, before we dive in to today's topic, which is hobbies, I did quickly want to firstly thank everyone that left some feedback in the last video I made about the quality and the sound and everything like that. I have implemented some of that feedback, so I hope it looks better and sounds better. I did get a new mic. I got a Rode shotgun mic. It's like the Go 2 or something. I can't remember the exact name of it. So I'm hoping from messing around with the camera settings, and then I also was on Discord with a friend one night helping me with the editing of it to do some like color correction and whatnot. I'm hoping it looks and sounds a lot better. Um, Additionally, though, I would still like some feedback from you guys. If you have any tips, tricks, if whatever, I encourage that. So please let me know what you think of the quality of this video in the comment section down below. I would greatly appreciate that. And time for today's topic. So I wanted to come on and talk a bit about hobbies as adults. Right now, once you get older and once you get a full-time job or once you're really even in college and stuff, your time is a lot more restricted where you can't spend 8 hours a day doing a hobby or something that you love to do because you have to go to work and spend 8 hours there. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have that hobby be a career or a job, that's fantastic. But I would say probably the majority of people, they just don't have that luxury. Not to say they dislike their job, but if they weren't getting paid for it, would they still do it? I don't know. I know with my former job, I definitely would not do what I was doing if I was not getting a paycheck. But this is something that I've thought about a lot, getting into hobbies, because I feel like when somebody asks me what I like to do for fun outside of work or outside of school or whatever the case may be, I never really have a good answer, you know? And I remember I was having a conversation with my former boss one time, and he asked me, he's like, "What do you like to do for fun?" And I said graphic novels or comics or something like that. I said like comic books. And I feel like, okay, maybe that's not the best answer, right? I think comic books as a whole is kind of, it's a smaller community, not to say that it's not necessarily widespread because it is, right? But most people, they don't necessarily read comic books to the extent I do, or to those who are in the comics YouTube community to the extent you guys do, right? Where I read comic books usually every single day. Um, the majority of people aren't like that, So I feel like it's kind of a niche community and a niche thing, right? Where it's difficult to necessarily strike up a conversation to anybody about comics, right? So I feel like that as a whole maybe is not the greatest answer to give. But outside of that, it's like, I don't know. What do I like to do for fun? What are some of my hobbies that I do regularly for fun? Now, I could say video games, but truth be told, I don't really do that regularly. There are periods of times where I play video games, a couple months at a time, and all I do is play video games outside of work. Well, not all I do, obviously, but it's a big part of how I spend my time. But truth be told, I bounce around video games. If a video game comes out that I really want to play, I'll play it, but then, I'll go months without touching my PlayStation 5. And that's just how I've always been with video games for the most part. And I feel like that's not really the greatest answer either, right? It kind of makes me... There's definitely a stigma around playing video games still, I would say, which people maybe look at people who play video games as lazy or unmotivated, whatever. I don't know. So that I feel like that's not even the greatest answer to give for myself either, because I really just don't play enough video games to consider a full-time hobby. It's more of a part-time hobby for me. And so other than that, I don't know. I mean, I do like to read, right? I could say reading, but there's no activity I necessarily go out and do regularly with a group of friends. I don't like play golf. I don't fish. I don't play poker. I don't, you know. And I've tried to get into hobbies as I've gotten older and as my time has gotten more scarce. I've tried to get into certain hobbies like golf, like fishing, and all these hobbies that I've tried have never stuck with me. I don't know why. And so I'm wondering if maybe that's just tends to be more of a common theme among young adults, especially, where they'll try a bunch of different things, but nothing necessarily tends to stick. And I don't like that. I want to, go out and golf and have fun, but at the end of the day, it's I don't know. Do I not enjoy it? Like I've tried it, and it's not like I'm itching to go play a round of golf again or go fish or whatever. So maybe it's just I haven't found the right hobby. I don't know. Drawing, that's another thing that I would say I'm somewhat naturally talented at drawing, more so than like other people. With that being said, don't think I'm like a drawing prodigy or something like that. Like I would not say I'm necessarily good at drawing, but I do have some natural ability there. It's kind of run in my family. My mom's naturally a really good drawer, and I guess my grandpa was too. Anyhow, I digress. I don't really like drawing either, which as a comics fan kind of sucks because I do want to make comic books. And I tend to like to write more than draw comics, because drawing for me, it makes me anxious in some weird ways where I feel like I need to try to make the picture I'm drawing perfect. And that's it. So it makes me stressed out in some weird ways. So that's, I've been kind of on and off with drawing for a little while, but that has never really stuck. So I guess, I want to see what other people, what have they gotten into in their adult age as far as hobbies goes. Because I do want to find another activity that I can do. I guess filmmaking, this making YouTube videos is definitely a hobby. At least right now, I'm not making any money off of it. That's not why I'm doing it. So I guess this could technically be a hobby. I do enjoy making these videos for the most part. I do get frustrated with it easily just because I want to try to make the video quality perfect and the sound amazing and this and that. And that can be difficult, and it can be expensive too to get the equipment and whatnot. So I guess this would technically be a hobby, but I would really like a hobby where I can go out there and hang out with some friends, and whatnot. I tried to get into ping pong at one point. I played ping pong a lot in college, and I will say I'm pretty good at ping pong. I got really good at ping pong actually. Um, and in the town I live in, or near the town I live in, there's a ping pong, not league or anything like that. It's just like you go there, you hit some balls with some paddles for a couple hours. Um, and I did that, but I only went once. I don't know. I I had fun, but there was a big. I mean, I thought I was good going into it, but compared to some of those other people, I mean, like 80-year-olds who are just like pop, 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 and it's like, holy smokes, okay. Like they just whipped me a new one, and so there's definitely a big, what's the word I'm looking for? A big. I'll edit some of this out too. There's a big, I don't know, a big difference between me and them, as far as being able to play ping pong. I'm having like a stroke right now. I can't think of the word. Anyhow, but yeah, no, that never stuck. And so I don't know. I don't know. So I wanna reach out to some of you guys to see if maybe there's some hobbies you would recommend for myself to try. I've never been into like music, although I do like the piano, and I've wanted to learn how to play the piano. And in middle school, a music teacher, we were playing the piano in class and whatnot, and a music teacher came over to me and said, "Oh, you should be playing an instrument. You're like pretty good at the piano." And I never took her up on that, and never pursued playing the piano. So I want to reach out to you guys to see maybe if there's any hobbies that you like to do in your free time. Um, and let me know what they are. Let's talk about them because I am open to getting into more activities. Because I don't necessarily just want to sit at home and read comics all day like I do sometimes. Some days I definitely do because I love comics, but I do want to go out into the community more, push myself, to hang out with friends, something I tend not to do. I'm a little flaky at times. I really like a open invitation where it's like, you're more than welcome to come, but if you don't want to, no worries, because depending on how I'm feeling that day, I may or may not want to do that thing. But I do want to try to push myself to go out there, play some golf, fish, or do this. But like I said, maybe those just aren't the right hobbies for me. So please let me know in the comments down below what you like to do for fun. And let me know how you navigate it, how the time management is too in your adult life. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you in the next Off the Cuff.